Hello, Mr. Sengupta. Thanks for giving some of your valuable time.
No problems, Ashok. I will be more than glad to share what I know.
Kunal and Joy want to know more about the pollution caused by the thermal power plants.
Okay, so let me start by giving you some brief pointers. 66% of electricity production is based on coal and gas in our country. We have 81 coal-based thermal power plants with a total generation capacity of 90,000 megawatts approximately. More than 258 million tons of coal with an ash content of 35 to 45% is consumed by these thermal power plants. Nearly 112 million tons of coal ash is generated per annum. More than 25,000 hectares of land has been occupied for conventional disposal of ash. More than 630 million metric cube of water is required for disposal of coal ash in form of slurry per annum.
So, can you help us understand how various pollutants are released in the environment in the power generation process?
Coal is the basic fuel for a thermal power plant. Indian coal contains 45% fly ash, which is one of the highest percentages of fly ash in the world. When coal is heated to very high temperatures, it produces steam, which in turn is used to propel the turbines that generate electricity. Now at this point where the coal is heated, ash and sulfur are released into the environment. When the steam returns after the turbine operation, it passes through a cooling tower where water is discharged. This steam now passes through an pollution control equipment called ESP, or the electrostatic precipitator. ESP has highly charged plates. These plates separate the fly ash from the mixture. Fly ash can be collected from here in the dry form. It can be used to make bricks and other items. Fly ash can also be mixed with water to make slurry. This slurry then requires wasteland where it can be transferred. Every year, more than 25,000 hectares of land is wasted as a result of this process, rendering the land infertile for food crops. Thermal power plants contribute 82% of the total fly ash released in the environment. So the steam now travels to a chimney where it is released at the right stack height. At this point, the released gas contains sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxide. Our coal has low sulfur content, so we don't control it. Stipulations in other countries recommend using an FGD at this point. Thermal power plants contribute to 89% of the total sulfur released in the environment. If the released quantities exceed the permissible limit, DeNOx is used to control the oxides of nitrogen. Greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide are also released through this chimney. Treatment of carbon dioxide is a high investment affair. If you remember from the Copenhagen conference, which happened some time back, India's argument was that our per capita release of carbon dioxide is much lower than that of the developed countries. However, the emission quantities can be greatly reduced if we increase the boiler efficiency. Boiler efficiency is usually 37 to 40%, which can be increased to 48 to 50% by use of beneficiated coal. Mercury, a heavy metal, is also released from the chimney. If not controlled, mercury can enter the food chain by depositing on the grass. This way, it enters the body of the cattle and then contaminates milk and other animal products. So that's a short overview. I am curious to know how you will sum up the impact of thermal power plants on the environment.
Well, air pollution, water pollution, and solid waste pollution is caused as a result of the thermal power plant operations. Air pollution, emission of particulate matter, dust, emission of sulfur dioxide and oxides of nitrogen, greenhouse gas emissions, emissions of mercury, both gaseous and in ash, fugitive emission of suspended particulate matter from other equipment also like CHP wagon tripler and ash pond, water pollution, cooling water discharge, ash pond effluent, solid waste, large volume of coal ash generation, fly ash and bottom ash, large land requirement for ash